Howdy folks, I've got a new fuel that I want to try out with my little stove. I'm going to try the Dragon Fire. It's a solid fuel gel. So it kind of looks like a hard jello that you can put in your firebox. It works like the solid fuel tabs, but supposedly it's a little bit hotter burning, a little bit easier to use. So we're going to find out. All right, a real quick pause before we jump back into the video. I just want to let everybody know that what you're about to watch is an epic fail on my part. And I'm going to be honest, I considered not even showing this video because of how big of a fail it was. I did something really stupid. And by doing something stupid, I set myself at risk, and I could have potentially caused some harm or damage to the location I was in, or some physical harm in the process. This is not something that I want to brag about or I'm proud of, but I thought it was important to stay true to the message of the channel, and that's to learn and grow and develop as a group. So here we go, folks. You're about to watch one of my epic fails out on the trail. Once we're done with it, we'll jump back into what I did and how it could have easily been prevented. This has been a windy hike. So I'm out for just kind of an afternoon adventure. I had the day off and I wanted to get out and explore before the crowds get out for the official hiking season here in the Northwest. I'm here just outside of Greenwater, Washington. It's on the outskirts of Mount Rainier National Forest, and I'm down along the Green River at this point. It's a beautiful day. It's been noisy, but it's hot, and I am loving every minute of it. So we're gonna set up camp here, pull out all of our ingredients, and cook up a nice lunch. I apologize in advance for just how noisy it is, but if you look around, it is just absolutely gorgeous. The wind is howling, the river is roaring, so we're gonna do the best we can. So the fuel we're gonna be using today is the Fire Dragon brand. It's a solid gel fuel, and it's a pretty basic ethanol mix. I don't know what they use to make it a solid, but we're gonna test it out and see how it works today. But for lunch, we're gonna kind of splurge. I've got a mixture of leftovers from yesterday that I wanted to cook up. Another one of my pre-packaged meals. And to preempt any questions, this is 330 grams as is. Part of the reason for the excess weight is because I actually have some pre-cooked rice in here. I didn't want to have to boil water today, so I cooked up rice. I've got a half a cup of rice that we're going to use. It'll be the base for our meal. That adds a little bit more weight just because it's already been hydrated. And of course, we're going to use our snap fold bowl again because this worked out so well the last time I took it out. I just wanted to try it again. And this is the Fozzils brand snap fold bowl. It's a fantastic ultralight bowl. You can throw it in your pack. You don't even know it's there. If you need it as a cutting board, it's available. Or I used it yesterday on a wet grass as a sitting pad. It worked pretty good there as well. That's certainly lit nice and easy. We're gonna just melt the garlic butter. Oops. We're gonna just melt up the garlic butter and toss those mushrooms in. One thing I'm noticing is the fuel from the Fire Dragon, it does seem to have a lot of output. might be a little dangerous. I'm sure it was pretty obvious to everybody what went wrong. I used a solid fuel stove with a liquid fuel. And the cubes that I was using, they start out as a solid, but obviously as soon as they start burning, they melt down into a liquid. This is the stove that I used. It is a fantastic, ultralight, ultra compact, and ultra portable camping stove. But it's specifically designed to use solid fuel tablets that don't melt while they're cooking. The air holes in the bottom are perfectly fine if you're using a solid fuel. But as soon as you move to a liquid or a gel form, that becomes a big risk factor because the fuel will leak out and, as you saw in the video, spill across the rocks. Incredibly foolish and incredibly dangerous, and a big blunder on my part. The stove that I should have been using looks very similar. It's also an ultralight, ultra compact, portable cooking stove, but this is specifically designed to be used with the Fire Dragon brand cubes. It has a tray in the middle, which is designed to hold the fuel while it's burning and keep it from leaking out. It's a very simple construction, very simple to use, and it cost me a whopping $7. All I had to do is make sure I had the right stove for the right job. Well, what I tell people when I'm training is there are no fails, there's just learning opportunities. And boy, was that a learning opportunity on my end. Well, for a matter of timing, instead of pulling out my firebox and assembling it and finding some dry wood, I'm going to just use one of our tried and true fuel tabs. These have proved to be fantastic in the past, and probably a good thing I had them in my bag today. All right, let's drop that London Broil right in there. Help absorb some of that butter and garlic. Well, the Fire Dragon fuel test was an epic fail. But lunch is a success. At the end of the day, I could say that my equipment failed me. I didn't have the right stove to do the cooking style that I was trying to do. The reality is there's a lot more to it. I failed myself because I didn't do the proper planning and preparing before I headed out into the backcountry. A little bit of planning and preparation goes a long ways. I often talk about making sure you understand your limitations and understand your equipment before you use it. I failed to do that myself. So hopefully, folks, you can learn from my mistakes, take a little bit of extra time, head out on your next adventure, fully understanding what you're getting yourself into. I guarantee you're going to have a much better time. So until next time, folks, I hope to see you out there on the trail. Let's go for a walk and have a bit of an adventure.